Good morning everyone, my name is Kelly Hollings. I work for Northumberland Wildlife Trust as one of the Restoring Ratty project officers, and I'd like to share a little bit with you about my job. I'm obviously a woman in conservation. I'm really proud about that. I'm really proud to be doing the career that I studied to do, and yeah, it's a great job. I work on a project where we're reintroducing water voles back into Kielder. I've actually brought you along here today to look at one of our reintroduction sites, and I'm going to show you a little bit about what I do in the field when my volunteers aren't with us just because of lockdown and coronavirus. So yeah, we're going to be checking mink rafts today to see if we are collecting any mink prints. Mink are the water vole's biggest kind of predator, or biggest non-native predator that we are certainly keeping our eye on. It's as you can see, it's been really snowy at Kielder, but I thought today would be defrosted enough. There's my dog in the background. Yeah, so I'm going to do a few snippets of videos today to share my job with you. Just a little bit about me. I've worked in conservation since I graduated years ago, in 2000. Had a variety of different jobs in the field. Started off doing a 6-month voluntary placement down in Sussex where no payment was received but lots of training was. But that unfortunately was the year of the foot and mouth, so some training was cancelled, so we got chainsaw we were meant to get. We didn't actually get that in the end because we couldn't go out in the field. Brush cutter, an awful lot of coppicing and woodland management skills. We worked a lot with the Woodland Trust. After that I got my first paid job in conservation, working for Severn Trent Water in Derbyshire as a ranger for a 9-month placement. A lot of visitor management, I suppose, a lot of litter picking, a lot of strimming footpaths, a lot of bird hide maintenance. That was fun, lots of fun, learnt an awful lot. And then after that I got my first job, permanent job I'd say, for Worcestershire County Council as an assistant sites officer, so managing 7 different nature reserves with all sorts of different issues, mountain biking, very public, very busy. The main site was surrounded by the M5. I was there for 2 years, then got married, and then me and my husband said, right, whoever gets the first job, that's where we'll set up married life. And I was lucky enough to get this job for Northumberland Wildlife Trust. I've worked for Northumberland Wildlife Trust for 16 years. So my first role before Ratty was like a wetlands conservation officer. I've worked in partnership with Northumbrian Water, managing wetland reserves, different management techniques, management plans, working with volunteers, coordinating an osprey watch when ospreys arrived at Kielder. Did that for 10 years, completely loved it. And then the Restoring Ratty job came up within Northumberland Wildlife Trust and I couldn't resist it. I'm a mum, 3 children, so I'm lucky enough to job share Ratty. I work part-time and work with a great colleague, Graham Holyoke, and between us we run Restoring Ratty. So I'll stop waffling now, I'll get togged up and I'll take you on a little tour to go and check a mink raft. So we've made it to our first raft of the day. This is a typical raft. People call them mink rafts, some people call them mammal monitoring rafts. They record footprints in the clay. Unfortunately this one's gone a bit awry. We've had an awful lot of torrential, rain's not a good idea, a lot of snow melt on it. Probably going to find a few rafts that aren't quite in position at the minute. But here we go, let's share a typical day. This raft should be sitting in the water. I shall place it back in afterwards. Inside it sits this clay pad that collects footprints that unfortunately isn't in the best condition to show you. So I'm going to add some more clay, plop it back in the water and come and check it again in a couple of weeks. So this is your perfect clay pad. I've just added more clay, smoothed it out. Lovely smooth surface. You can easily collect little footprints for us. like I said, we're mainly interested in mink. We need to conserve our water voles that we released into this little burn here. But it's really interesting to find anything. We find otter, we found stoat, weasel, we've even had a possible pine marten, we've had cat, lots of different prints. We've become a bit adept at identifying them now just through practice. So inside this plastic tray is some oasis that sits in the water, and then on top of that, for those that don't know, sits a nice smooth block of clay that collects footprints for us. I think today is probably going to be more of a maintenance day, getting the rafts in better condition, and hopefully the winter's over so we can check them properly in the future. So I'm going to refloat this raft. So that's raft 1 of roughly 17 checked this morning. I got a nice early start this morning. Yeah, husband's off looking after the children so I could get out and crack on. Just a little shout out to another one of our amazing projects, Kilda Wildwood. Thankfully they are kind enough to let us share their vehicle with them, which certainly need a 4x4 in these conditions. It's quite slippery today. Certainly be taking it steady and putting it in 4-wheel drive maybe 1 or 2 times on the wet bits. But yeah, also going to be checking some camera traps today. We've discovered as part of our job that sometimes mink rafts don't do the job that they're intended for. Sometimes they are avoided and not used. Sometimes you can't put them where you want them because the conditions aren't suitable. So we've put out some trail cameras as well, which record any species. And in these lockdown times, it's great that we can still keep our volunteers involved and send them the images from the cameras, from the SD cards. Just got a shout out to our volunteers. Today's all about I guess women in conservation, achieving your goals, being proud of yourself, and to anybody who gets a career in conservation, please engage volunteers and really appreciate them. For me, it's the best part of my job, working with volunteers. I'm really missing them during lockdown. Obviously we miss the work they do, but we miss them, we miss their support, their camaraderie, their ideas. They come up with amazing ideas. Their enthusiasm. Yeah, they're just part of our team and they lift us, and really hoping we can welcome them back in the spring, definitely the summer. It'd be nice to think that. So yeah, the volunteers, Restoring Ratty volunteers, usually come out and check our mink rafts for us every other week in teams. Certainly don't allow lone working due to the remoteness of Kilda and the lack of phone signal. So yeah, I'm doing their job, and I know that they're desperate to get out and start doing it again. Part of me is enjoying it, I must admit. I can see why they volunteered to do this. It is great getting out and doing proper field work and being out for the whole day and switching off from screens, laptops and phones. There's not even phone signal up here, but yes, I'll happily hand over the baton when they return, and thank you to volunteers. Couldn't do our jobs without you. You're amazing. Okay, so I'm going to try not to fall over, and I'm going to take you down to another burn, Lampert site, another water vole release site, to check a trail camera. Yeah, so in my line of work, a woman's best friend is her trusty stick. I don't go anywhere without it. Honestly, it is so easy to fall over. Oh, there's some deer droppings there. Yeah, I suppose the snow makes it slightly more interesting. But yeah, typical day out in the field is either checking rafts, which involves walking on quite uneven ground to get to them, or it's doing surveys, which involves walking through burns or alongside burns, looking for field signs such as water vole droppings, burrows, feeding remains. The crazy dog, please rest assured, she doesn't come with me during water vole season, but I know that they're safely tucked away in their burrows right now, so she's not going to disturb them. She's my lone working buddy, trying to keep upright whilst talking to you, and hopefully you can see the camera there on that post. I'll describe to you why we put it there, and then I'll leave you in peace. Yeah, so this is a release site of ours. Plenty of rocks there for otters, mink to scent mark on, so we think it's a really good place for a camera. It's not a great place for a raft because the water goes up and down, and there's quite a lot of rocks there. Did find some quite black, tarry like droppings up here once when doing the survey, which I did worry were mink, which is another reason why I've got a camera trap here, but we've never ever found any signs of mink here. So let me take you to view a camera in an elegant Kelly style. So all we do, open it up, make sure it's all working still, and we swap over the SD card. So take this one out and swap it over. Bye for now. Well, thank you very much for keeping me company today. I've now finished checking all rafts, and I couldn't leave without showing you the Nick. It's an art sculpture at the top of Forest Drive. We're now at the highest point on the Forest Drive. This is Blake Hope Nick. The weather has taken a turn for the worse, getting a bit cold, and my wellies have started leaking, so definitely time to call it a day. Okay, stay safe everyone, be well, and good luck.